So earlier this week, I wrote a piece about how we can work in different ways and with different people to try to negate kind of potentially volatile, aggressive, and uncomfortable conversations that we may have with other people, or that we're inevitably going to have with other people at some point and at many different points along the way. The last thing many of us want is confrontation and is tension with other people, especially people that we know and have some kind of relation or connection with of some sort. But they're all inevitable and can't be avoided completely. So they are going to happen, and we need to work out how we can kind of go around that and get around those sorts of things so that we can minimize not only the incidences of them and the risks of them happening in the first place, but also how often they're going to happen, and ironing out some of the things and some of the variables that we can potentially control and that the other people can control as well, so that we can hopefully have a better connection and line of communication with other people. In that piece, I was saying overall and broadly speaking that we've all got to learn how to not take so much crap from other people, and how we can put into place some strategies of our own that can help us de-escalate the situation before it becomes something bigger than what it really needs to be. Now, of course, the more of us who do this and the greater the frequency with which we do this can only help and only strengthen our chances and our possibilities of making this happen going forward. And of course, at the same time, when both parties or several parties who are involved in it can do this, it helps even more and more and more. But nevertheless, for the sake of this video I'm making today, I'm just going to refer to it from the point of view of just one person, in this case, the viewer. So how can we do this? We can start out by practicing and reciting certain types of dialogue, both general and specific, within our minds and to ourselves, before we find ourselves in a scenario where we're dealing with this sort of confronting thing with another person. We obviously cannot know and preempt everything that the other person is going to say and do and how they're going to react and otherwise, but we can get some gauge on it based on the argument that they're bringing to the table, as well as, for example, their reputation for how they convey and communicate themselves to not only you, but how they do it to other people as well. So in doing so, we can get a bit of a feel for what they may do, so that we're at least somewhat prepared in the event that they actually do that. We might recite very basic general things such as, okay, if you're going to put forward that argument, first of all, tell me how you know that and where did you get that information from? Now, in the event that the person can prove to you that you may have done something that they don't agree with, or they're picking out a fault or a flaw in you that you might go on to realize, yeah, it is perhaps true and it's probably fairly accurate. Well, you can start out by sort of taking it in and hearing it all out and acknowledging it to them, acknowledging your own deficiency or your own error, because in doing so, you're already creating a sense of trust and also a sense of authenticity with the other person. You're showing them that you're not just there to retaliate to what they're saying, you're there to either debate what they're saying if you don't agree with it, or to acknowledge and agree with what they're saying, but then to, in turn, hopefully for your sake, you can start to pick out some of their own deficiencies and faults. And if you struggle to do so, just keep in mind, or at least in the back of your mind, we've all got faults, we've all got deficiencies of some sort, and many. So where we can hopefully pick out and iron out those sorts of things to then put a case towards them that, okay, well, if you're going to pick out those things, then I think I've got a leg to stand on to say I'm picking out this, that, and the other about you. But don't make it a contest. I'm not suggesting that it is a contest or something where it's a tit for tat. Rather, what it is glean as much information as you can from them, and also from the back of your mind about what you already know about that person, so you can build a case towards them, and then how you go about delivering that case to them needs to be strategic as well. Chances are that the person's going to come to you somewhat heightened and definitely weary and vigilant of what's going on around them, because they're the person bringing the argument to the table. They're the one who's being proactive. They know what's going on and they're bringing it to you. You're the one who's not expected to know what's going on. So what you can do, instead of snapping or reacting too quickly to the person, you can process what they're saying and take it on board and use it for your own gain, and then to obviously pick out things about them as well. You should keep calm, composed, and settled at all times, because at the end of the day, that's what will prevail. The cool head will prevail. As much as that is a cliche, it's true. And not only that, it's good to keep in the back of your mind that when someone's bringing an argument to the table against you, chances are most of the eyes in the room, including theirs, are going to be on you to see how you react, because now you're on the defensive. You need to go on better than the other person by keeping your cool and appearing unfazed by what they're doing and saying. It may bother you deep down. In fact, it probably will a little bit. It's only human to feel that way. Feel that way, process it all, but how you portray yourself and carry yourself then becomes very important. If you can keep calm, at least for the duration of this debate you're having with a person, and for the sake and the purposes of appearing unfazed, well, you are going to appear unfazed, but you're also going to be more prepared to deal with them as opposed to just snapping and reacting and refuting and becoming aggressive yourself. The purpose here is to de-escalate the situation in a calm, yet constructive and productive kind of way. We're not telling you to just simply roll over and take what they're saying. We're telling you to counter it back to them, but just go about it the right way. Set yourself some expectations based on your own experiences and your own reputation for how you respond to things. And then, of course, try to exceed those expectations. And don't set the bar too high. Set it to a manageable level and work towards it. Build yourself up, get there, and then set yourself a new bar going forward in the future when more things are inevitably going to happen. You can also learn how to outsmart, and I guess you could say even outlive the other person in the argument, in that you can withstand what they're trying to say and do better than what they can do with you when you return serve to them. Last of all, be honest and be clear and transparent, but do it with a smile. If you learn something about yourself and you really can't refute what the other person is saying, thank them, and at least make it look like a genuine thanks. Take it as a way of learning something. I mean, they might be right. There may be something to learn about yourself. Take it as a learning experience. Sincerely and genuinely thank them for that, and perhaps don't turn the tables on them too much. And that's it.